Seems like if there are a lot of active serial killers, they're not like connected yet. If that makes sense, you know what I'm saying? Like you know, nobody's figured it out that those deaths are connected.
But we got the Austin one and we have the New England one, right?
Yeah, exactly. I was gonna go over the Austin one first.
Let's do it. Can I just say that I went to Austin pretty recently. We'll call it recently. And it's definitely a weird place. I had a lot of fun.
It was over a year ago. We don't want to implicate you in the Austin Rainey Street Ripper thing.
Yeah. Well, I was thinking, like, how long has this been happening? I was just gonna say that, like, holy shit, like that could have been me. You know what I mean? I was just some guy who's there, and I was by myself. That could have been me.
Yeah, you never know.
Not the killer. Sorry, that still sounds bad. I mean, like a victim.
Yeah, no, I think I got what you meant. I'm glad you clarified. But either way, it is interesting. Who knows? Who knows? Maybe that would have happened if you stayed there, or I don't know, if you went swimming around Lady Bird Lake. But yeah, never been to Austin. Always wanted to go. I'm a big fan of Kill Tony, so that would be fun to go see that.
Yeah, a lot of good music. A lot of good.
Yeah. What if one of the people that is the serial killer went on Kill Tony?
That would be cool. I haven't watched Kill Tony in a long time. I think the last time I saw Kill Tony was like a clip, but like the last time I actually watched it was with you.
Yeah, probably. As weird as it is, I haven't really watched it since Trump got inaugurated or whatever. It's still, I like the show.
What Tony Hinchcliffe didn't really faze you.
I mean, I've heard I think arguably worse things on Kill Tony than what he said.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. It's less about what he said. It's more about the context. The context of it.
Which thing are you talking about?
I'm talking about the Trump rally. I think it might have actually been the inauguration.
No, that wasn't the inauguration. That was just a Trump rally.
But you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, I know that happened before he got even elected.
I thought that was going to be like a nail in the coffin for Tony Hinchcliffe.
Yeah, no, he said a lot worse shit in general, so I don't think that was
the context of like him saying it as like at a like our president's like what he said got attached to what the Republicans were pissed at him. Some Republicans were like, yeah, that's not what our message is.
Yeah.
We know he's joking, but at the same time, like, he supports Trump. He does love Trump.
Yeah, I haven't really watched him lately, so I do wonder how he feels about Trump. We'll see.
Yeah.
But anyways, besides Kill Tony, the Rainey Street Ripper, monster or myth? Here is an article coming from some random vlog or some shit by some guy named James Fletcher. Follow him, I guess. It's a 7-minute read. Austin's famous 6th Street, known locally as the Dirty Six, is a wonderland of music, good vibes, copious amounts of alcohol, and wild nights. Is there something more sinister lurking in the shadows of Rainey Street, waiting for the perfect moment to strike?
Probably. There's a lot of homeless.
There's a lot of homeless?
There's a lot of homeless people in Austin.
Over the past 2 years, a total of 16 bodies have surfaced in Austin's Lady Bird Lake, fueling whispers of a serial predator stalking intoxicated male bargoers between the ages of 25 and 40, luring them to their demise.
Yeah, he could have.
Everyone knows that you are 35, so that's true. You could have been murdered. Some call him the Rainey Street Ripper, a phantom who haunts the streets at nights and preys on the vulnerable under the cover of darkness. Despite the local concerns over a potential serial killer in the city, the Austin Police Department maintains that at this time there is no evidence in any of these cases to support allegations of foul play, and chalks up the numerous deaths in the area to accidental drownings. APD also dismisses the skepticism of their assessment as internet-fueled paranoia, and views the 16 individuals losing their lives within a 2-year time span as coincidence, despite no evidence to support the claim. But with growing fears, unanswered questions, and chilling survivor accounts, the real question remains, is there a killer on the loose, or is the city chasing ghosts? A local 6th Street bartender who wish to remain anonymous, argues that the numerous deaths are more than a coincidence, and there is more to the story than the APD is letting on.
Who said that?
Local 6th Street bartender.
Of what bar?
It doesn't say. He wanted to remain anonymous, so I don't think he would say what bar.
That's fair.
The amount of people who have been found dead is huge, the bartender told The Sun in a 2024 interview. It's an odd place for people to go to. I find it's hard to see how people could leave Rainey and end up at the lake. You have to walk blocks to get there. The persistence of these incidents and the lack of concrete explanation from authorities have led to various theories, including potential connections to other unsolved crimes occurring in the area. One notable unsolved case fueling the rumors involves a potential victim of the Ripper, Jeff Jones, a 38-year-old visitor from Boston. In June 2023, Jones was in Austin, a visitor from Boston. I wish I could add to that. In June 2023, Jones was in Austin for his friend's bachelor party and went missing after a night out on West 6th Street. Jones was later found under the West 6th Street Bridge with severe injuries including internal hemorrhaging, broken vertebrae, and broken ribs. Sounds like just a crazy night out, right?
Yeah.
Authorities determined Jones had plummeted roughly 25 feet from the West 6th Street Bridge to sustain his injuries, but questions on how he received those injuries remained. Was he the latest target of this elusive killer? Did the Rainey Street Ripper strike again? Medical tests revealed the presence of benzos, commonly associated with the date rape drug Rohypnol, and GHB in Jones' system, which he denies taking himself. I hadn't felt strange at all. I hadn't been drinking heavily, Jones said. There's no reason why I would have had that in my system. I was having drinks and very easily could have gotten drugged by someone. According to Jones, the next thing he remembered after the alleged drugging and attack was waking up in the hospital a week later. He'd been put into a medically induced coma so doctors could implant metal rods in his back and remove his spleen to stop the internal hemorrhaging in his kidneys, liver, and lungs. Jones maintains that he couldn't have injured himself in the way, and he believes wholeheartedly that he was targeted, drugged, and subsequently pushed off the bridge in an attempt to end his life. It's 3 or 4 foot wide old stone bridge, so for me to actually have somehow fallen over it would have been almost impossible, Jones said. Things that lead it to it being a serial killer is that it's a very specific type of victim, which I fit. They don't have anything stolen from them, they drown in the water, and they disappear in the middle of the night. With the alleged attack in Jones' recent past, he is continuing to recover from his injuries and surprisingly says that he's open to returning to Austin one day. Jones even appears to have a new lease on life, saying he's incredibly lucky and trying to live life to the fullest now. While one victim may be grateful for a second chance, another potential victim of the Ripper, then 23-year-old Connor Deserly, looks back in horror at a night meant for celebration that turned into a nightmare. In February 2024, Deserly and a group of friends relocated to Austin for temporary sales jobs with a local pest control company. 2 days after arriving, they decided to celebrate by hitting the city's well-known 6th Street district, not far from Rainey Street. The night quickly became a haze for Deserly. He had disappeared from his group early in the night, stating he had to use the restroom, with only a brief sighting for Deserly by his friends at a different bar later on in the night. After that, no one in Deserly's group knew where he was or if he had even made it through the night. They frantically looked for him all night and all over to no avail. The next morning, his friends already putting up missing person flyers for Deserly, desperate to find their lost friend. The previous night, however, Deserly had already been discovered in an alleyway behind a dumpster by a passerby who noticed his legs sticking out and immediately called the police. Deserly had been previously injured and by the time APD got there was completely unresponsive. But just like Jones, the next thing Deserly recalls after that fateful night is regaining consciousness after spending days in the hospital, alone. I only drank like one drink, like maybe 1 or 2 drinks, and I felt crazy, like fucked up, you know? Then I remembered, we talked to this one group and they were weird, Deserly said. In the toxicology report performed on Deserly at the hospital, he was found to have had fentanyl, ketamine, and meth in his system, claiming they had no idea how he had ingested the drugs. I was on life support for like I think 3 or 4 days with all the tubes in the mouth, and it was pumping my lungs for me and all this other stuff, Deserly said. Nearly a year later, Deserly is still recovering from the injuries he sustained that night, still no closer to knowing the truth about what happened to him. I don't know how they helped my friends, but APD, but yeah, they never reached out, nothing. Tried to open an investigation, nothing like that, Deserly said. Unfortunately, the alleged killer would get away, joining back into the murky shadows just like he had many times before, and with little help from the APD and no memory to aid Deserly, all he could do was be grateful he did not end up as the 17th body in the shallow waters of the lake. To this day, the identity of the supposed killer remains a mystery, but in a now deleted post from 2024, Reddit user What Did It posted on the subreddit R Bartenders claiming to encounter the Ripper while working as a bartender with a complete confession from the alleged perpetrator.
But there's plenty of fucking creeps and homeless people just like creeping around and like, dude, the people who are just like enjoying their nights and just like having a blast and like even what I was doing. That's what I was doing. Everybody who's doing that is ignoring the thousands of homeless people just wandering the streets the whole time. Yeah, it's pretty scary. Somebody was trying to explain for the daytimes. They try to they have like different like programs and shelters that open up, and that like some I forget if it's at night or if it's daytime, but they kind of shovel them all into these buildings so that people can enjoy their time. So it's like less populated with homeless people.
Mhm.
It's crazy.
Yeah, it's crazy.
You're about to start talking. You talked about two people, and you're about to talk about a third.
About this bartender claiming to have encountered the Ripper while working as a bartender, the complete confession with the alleged perpetrator.
Yeah.
Suddenly, the customer started talking about killing. Okay. From Lake A that he found from Street B, the user wrote in Reddit post titled, "Have you ever had someone tell you they murdered someone?" / people. At first, the user avoided explicitly specifying which part of Austin they were referring to, but later confirmed they were referring to Rainey Street in Lady Bird Lake. One user responded to the original poster urging the OP to get the F off of Reddit and call the cops. Unfortunately, user What Did It didn't bother to contact the authorities directly after the patron's confession, leading to mass frustration online. User What Did It claimed that management at their workplace showed little concern. They also stated that after contacting the Austin Police Department directly, they were redirected to the homicide hotline where they left a voicemail. As of this writing, neither the APD nor the user has provided any follow-up concerning the possible sighting of the supposed killer, leaving us all with more questions than answers. In response to the public outcry for more safety measures in their community, the city has implemented various safety measures, including the Safer 6th Street initiative. This initiative includes improved lighting and surveillance systems around Rainey Street and SIP Safely program designed to educate the public about drink spiking. Despite official assurances, the changes made, or the knowledge of the supposed Ripper, the debate over the possibility of a serial killer stalking the streets of Austin continues. Local activists and social media sleuths remain unconvinced by the APD's conclusions, while authorities stress the importance of responsible drinking and public awareness. But one thing is certain, something sinister lurks in the dark corners of Austin's busiest streets, and until the question of who is stalking Rainey Street is answered, the deaths will remain a chilling mystery. A cold case that casts a long shadow over the still waters of Lady Bird Lake. And yeah, there's been a lot of people that have been killed over there.
It doesn't surprise me.